Hare Krishna, this is the third time I'm doing this recording. The first time the volume wasn't up. The second time the frame freezed. And now I'm hoping I can get through it the third time. It seems that my computer's got a little bad karma. Okay, but we're continuing from chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita. If you remember, it's called Transcendental Knowledge. And last time we were speaking about sacrifice, and we're going to continue talking about sacrifice. And I define sacrifice as those activities by which we please the Supreme, by which we please Krishna. Now, those activities may vary, but whether it's giving up the results of your work, whether it's performing a certain activity, giving your time, all of these things may be considered to be sacrifice when they're performed with the right purpose. Now, this is a very important verse because it will explain two things. One is that one should know why one is performing sacrifice, and the other is that the result of sacrifice is transcendental knowledge. Okay, but let's read this, and I'm hoping that nothing goes wrong. Shreyan dravya mayad yagya jnana yagya parantapa sarvam karma kilam parta jnane para simapyate. Oh, chastiser of the enemy, the sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than the mere sacrifice of material possessions. After all, O son of Pritha, all sacrifices of work culminate in transcendental knowledge. I'm going to read part of the purport because it's very, very informative. The purpose of all sacrifices is to arrive at the status of complete knowledge, then to gain release from material miseries, and ultimately to engage in loving transcendental service to the Supreme Lord, brackets, Krishna consciousness. Nonetheless, there is a mystery about all these different activities of sacrifice, and one should know this mystery. Want to know the mystery? Sacrifices sometimes take different forms according to the particular faith of the performer. When one's faith reaches the stage of transcendental knowledge, the performer of sacrifice should be considered more advanced than those who simply sacrifice material possessions without such knowledge. For without attainment of knowledge, sacrifices remain on the material platform and bestow no spiritual benefit. Very interesting. I've had people ask me, what does it mean to be ritualistic? What does it mean to be mechanical in yoga? And what is a ritual? Now, my understanding is based on what we've just read, and that is that a ritual is an activity that one performs when one doesn't know what the actual result is. Often when I go to India, I talk to people and I ask them, why are you doing such and such fast? Why are you participating in this religious function? And 9 times out of 10, I get the answer, I don't know. And if I pursue it any further, they say, well, it's something that we've always done in our family. My parents did it, my grandparents did it, all my forefathers did it, so we're doing it. Now that's called a ritual. And the activity itself may be actually valid, it may be authentic, but still here, the purport, Prabhupada has said that if you don't know why you're doing it, then the activity is material. That sacrifice is material. Take yoga. Now it's not just in India, but here in the West, I meet a lot of people who practice yoga. And when I ask them, what's the purpose of yoga? Then generally, they will say, I'm doing it for exercise, I'm doing it to stay slim, and then some other people give some unmentionable X-rated answers why they do yoga. But that's not the purpose of yoga. And therefore, what is the purpose of yoga? Well, we've gone over this. Yoga means to connect with the Supreme. And unless you know that you're supposed to connect with the Supreme, and unless you know how to connect with the Supreme, that yoga is a material activity. You may be meditating, you may be closing your eyes and just thinking about nothing, or you may be meditating on a light, or who knows what, some white light. It's just all concoction and speculation. It has nothing to do with the yoga that's described in the scriptures that talk about yoga. These are all sort of made up things. What's the result? Material result. Okay, you'll get slimmer. You'll be in better health. Certainly, yoga is healthy. But these are material things. These are not spiritual benefits. If you really want to get spiritual benefit, then yoga is meant for connecting with the Supreme and for pleasing the Supreme. And therefore, the best type of yoga, as we mentioned the last time, the best sacrifice is the sacrifice of kirtan, the sacrifice of chanting the names of the Supreme. So, two things. One is, why am I doing something? And I should know what is it that I'm doing and why am I doing it? And what will be the result of what I'm doing? Here, I found that these three stages, please listen carefully, and then we're closing. The purpose of all sacrifices is to arrive at the status of complete knowledge, then to gain release from material miseries, and ultimately to engage in loving transcendental service to the Supreme Lord. I'll talk about this at a later time, but there are three different types of knowledge when we're talking here about complete knowledge. And the Bhagavad Gita talks about these three types of knowledge. One is, it's called Sambandha Gyan. What is knowledge of relationships? What is my relationship with the Supreme? The second is Abhideya Gyan. How do I cultivate my relationship with the Supreme? And that's what yoga is about. And even that's what yoga practices are about. And the third is, what is the result? Prayojana Gyan. And of course, the result here is stated, loving transcendental service to the Supreme, to know how to love the Supreme. And when you love the Supreme, you love everybody else. So acquire those three phases of knowledge. The result will be is that we become free from the miseries of life, free in the sense that we're detached from them, and we acquire love for the Supreme. And that's today's class, and the frame didn't freeze, and the sound is on. So, third time lucky. Hare Krishna.